Hi guys, I proudly welcome you to the second part of the attendance database in Microsoft Access. My name is Smaila. So in the first part of this tutorial, we managed to come by this beautiful workplace that helps us to track attendance of our employees. Yes, and in this second part, I'm going to show you guys some couple of tweaks that we can actually make or apply to enhance the usability or the flexibility of this database. Moreover, we'll also go ahead to do some couple of reporting, or we also go ahead to add some few models that will help us to actually reports or issue reports out of this very system, or reporting attendance from this very system. Yeah, so if you look at this closely, you would realize that there are some things that were here in the previous video, but as it stands currently they are not there. This is because I actually managed to remove some couple of fields here, because later on I realized that some of them are actually redundant. But however, if you really want to keep them, then it's actually your choice to maintain it any way that you want. So the next thing that I feel like we should do is that here, let's see, when you are able to search for employees in this very combo, and it still goes ahead to show us the name or the full name of the employee here. Well, I feel like this can actually be removed, so I'll go ahead in the design view. I'm going to highlight this and I'll hit the delete key, then I'll push this to the top here. Now when you select these controls and position them to the top here, you can see that the horizontal anchor has been set to right. So what it means is that regardless of the size of the screen, anytime that this form enlarges, these controls or these items or objects will all be positioned at the right hand side. Yes, so the horizontal and vertical anchoring are very important properties that helps in both form design or the aesthetics. So now let us also have to make sure that the vertical anchor is set to top. Okay, so now let us see the effect of this. So this is what it means. So you see my screen, I'm having a very large screen, and regardless, it has to be when the window enlarges, these guys are positioned at the right time, which is exactly what I actually want. The next thing that I would like us to do is that I would not want users to interfere or edit this or data from these controls. So as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead to disable all of them. So I will highlight everything here, then I'll come right here, enabled, I'll set it to no, then logged, I'll set it to yes. So let's see what this means. This does. So you see now, whatever employee you select, this data changes, but you are not able to edit it. And when is this useful? So this is useful when you would not want your front end users to necessarily interact or interfere or edit data. There are times whereby front end users only need to be entering, but then not being able to edit records. So if that's actually what is your situation, then I suggest that this is one of something that you can actually do. Okay, so now the next thing that I feel like we should also now let us pay a little attention over here. So you realize that the bar here has also been changed slightly. Initially this wasn't the color of the bar here. So how did that actually change it? Let me also show you. It is very easy. So here in the attendance you go to the design view, you can see that you click this form header. So right here in the form header, you go to the contextual menu, you pull it up, format, shape fill. So you have varieties of colors here, then you select the one of your choice. The next thing that I would like us to do is to actually take this guy away, because we wouldn't need attendance. I don't want attendance ID to be showing, so I will just take it out here. Then the next thing that I also feel like we should do is the employee ID. So the employee ID, we can also set it to hidden, because already it shows in the parent form. So we can set employee ID also to visible. You set it to no by highlighting first and then setting the visible to no. When you go ahead to preview this form, you see that employee ID, although it is actually active, but then it is not showing. So why am I doing this? I'm just doing this to actually reduce the number of controls that may be present in the form, so that data entry will become very much facilitated. And you see now we have few things That will help us to track attendance work quickly. Okay, so let me delete, sorry, let me close it. Now let's preview. So here in the preview, now when I do select face up, so if I'm coming to enter a new attendance, it's just a matter of selecting the day, status present, let's say it's present, then I will actually go ahead to, populate what all this would first. Yes, so now let us preview again. So you see this time around, the fields over here have been reduced drastically, making the data entry very much flexible. So let's go over entering data here. I'll select this employee Grace Gomez and I'll hit new. So let's suppose the work day is this day, the status is actually present. So let's suppose the time in was 2:00 a.m. and then he worked up to 5:00 a.m. Then I'll go ahead to say that good job. Yes, so I will actually refresh, and once I refresh, you can see that the data directly jumps in here. So another thing that I feel like we should actually do is, instead of already we have employee ID, it wasn't needed here, I don't think it is necessary for us keeping it here. So let's go ahead to remove this and instead replace it by the attendance ID. So to do that, I'll close this guy and I'll go to attendance sub. Sorry, as a matter of fact, we need to open the spreadsheet instead. Then I'll go to the design view of this, and now here employee ID, I'm going to remove it. Then instead I'll click form design, add existing field. So you can see that we want to add attendance ID, but then for the meantime attendance ID is not showing. So that means that the record source of this very form does not yet have attendance column or the field. So let us check the record source. Remember, the record source is this query, the attendance worksheet, which is what we have here. So let's get right in this let's get right in this attendance sheet query or the record source of this form and add the field that we need, which is attendance ID. So I'll put it up here, design view. Now here you see the table automatically shows. You double click and then you add it up here. And now you can close this. So attendance sheet, this time around I'll go to right click here, design view. Now form design, add existing field, and we have attendance ID. So this time around, once you preview, data sheet view, you see the attendance ID now shows up for us neatly here. Okay, so now once we preview, we see that our attendance ID shows neatly over here for us. The next tweak that I feel like we need to also do we can do to improve the usability or the flexibility of this attendance database is by setting default values. For example, time in can be we can have a default value for time in. We can have a default value for time in. So if that is something you would also like to do, you can go to design view, then you select time in. But before, you can see that these guys are still showing. Instead, we need a property sheet, so you simply click here to have the property sheet, or you can also double click here. So you select time in, and then the default value is what we have here. You simply go ahead to enter whatever time that you would want to set as the default, and that will automatically populate for you. Yeah, so that is how to set default value for any of these guys. You simply highlight it, default value, you enter it there neatly. Now I'll close this. The next thing that I would want us to do is to do some couple of basic reporting. The first level of reports I would want us to do is that when we select an employee, we hit a button on the employee's profile, then we get on the attendance profile, then Microsoft Access goes ahead to give us the attendance reports. Okay, to do that, I will simply copy this record source or the query that we have here. It is copied. I'm hitting Ctrl+V to paste, and I will say that attendance reports. Okay, so this is what I have, the attendance report. I will double click that. Now everything here is in good shape. The only thing we will need is to get the details of the employee also added. So I'll go to design view, and now here I'll click add table. So add table, So here, this is what it shows. If you are using an earlier version of Microsoft Access, then your tables and queries wouldn't, or the links wouldn't be showing here necessarily. You'll be seeing them here. But because this is actually a 2019 version, that is why I'm actually it has been positioned here for me. So wherever yours appeared, you simply need to drag this table here. Then let me enlarge it. So why am I bringing this table? Because I would need to show the employee name, but some few information of the employee, right? Yeah, so what I will do here is that I will actually build a relationship between what ID and employee ID. Then once I do, I will go ahead to what add. I will go ahead to add what the employee name, the shift, and then I'll also add department. Now let us run this form to see. Okay, so now the form does exactly what we actually needed to do. So it gives us every employee, and then also some of this attendance information or the table that we have at the left. Yeah, so that's what we have. So here we have the employees being the employee table at the right table, and then this guy being the left table. So we are doing the left join here. Then we can run. Okay, so let me save this query. Now let us go ahead to build this variable report. So to build a report, this is what we are going to do. I'll click here, create, and then I'll go to report wizard. So here in report wizard, this is what I'm going to add here. I'm simply going to add the attendance ID. I think then I'll add the work day. I'll add the status, time in, time out. Then I'll go to next. I'll go to, do you want to add any grouping levels? Do you want to add any grouping levels? So if you want to, but for this very table, before this very report, because this is a report I would want to use to show only attendance for a selected employee, so I would not want to do any grouping. So I'll go ahead to next. But then if you want to do grouping, then the field I would recommend you use to do grouping is a department. You can use a department field. But I don't want to do any grouping. I want to get the report as simple as it is as that. So I'll go to next. Now I'll click here. Then I'll sort by workday, and I'll also again sort by the status. Then I'll go to next. Okay, so now which kind of report do you want? Is a column now. Of course, this is ideally this cannot be it's not suitable for us to do columnar, so we'll do tabular. Then let's make it a landscape report, then go to next. Okay, so I will say that attend reports. So let's preview the report to see how it is looking. And as a matter of fact, this is not bad at all. This is not bad at all. But a few tweaks that I would want to do, is the attendance ID here. I would want to position it first. So I'll go to design view. Then instead I'll just do IE. Then I'll make it as simple as that. Then this guy is too big, so let us close it a bit. Status is too big, let us close it a bit. Then I will actually select this guy, bring it to this far end here. I will select everything here, bring it here. Then I will actually control. Once you mess up a little on the report, please do not panic. Just take a deep breath and hit Control Z, okay, or undo. You can also similarly hit the undo move that we have here. But then I will click here, bring everything right in here, and I'll keep these guys as they are. Let me also minimize this a little bit, and I'll collapse this guy here. Now let's see. So this is a report we actually have, which isn't bad. In fact, I just want to have a very simple report for the employee. So the next thing is to add the employees data. The employees data. So to do that, I will actually go ahead to say attendance report, and attendance report. We are going to pull it right here. Attendance report, we pull it right here. The shape, the size, let's make it 18. I will double click here and then choose this very color. And the next thing is to add the employee details. I'll go to report design, add existing fields. Then here I will select the employee ID, employee name, shift, and then what, at department, and I'll bring all of them right here. Okay, so let us do a little bit, some few tweaks to improve the design here. So I'll actually do this, then I will select this size widest, then I'll add this guy here. Okay, so the next thing is for me to, let me add columns. I always prefer adding columns to my import labels. Okay, now let us what, collapse these guys, so close the gap a little bit. Okay, so save. Now let us do reporting. So this is how the report really looks like. That's, well, it is not bad, but then I feel like we can actually go to design view again. Let's take out employee ID. Sorry, let's bring up employee ID. I'm so sorry. The reason why I wanted to bring it is because of the relationship. Let's select this guy, shape fill, we can use white. Then we can actually select all of these guys transparent. And now color should also be set to black. Okay, so this time around things look improved. Yeah, at least this looks what better than what we had imagined earlier. Yeah, so the goal is not to teach you how to create reports. The goal is just to show you how. I know you guys, by watching a couple of videos on my channel, you might be okay, or familiar with what report building, but videos are going to be made later on explaining or teaching how to build reports in Microsoft Access. This is just to show us how to connect a report from the employee profile or attendant profile. Okay, yeah, so the next thing we'll do is to add a print button, and then I will also put this guy before. Let's go ahead, so click here, button here. Okay, so this is a button. I'll double click here, and the label is going to be print. And now I'll right click, build events, macro, and I will type in print objects. So click here to save, and now there you go. So now report view, once you hit this guy, this is what it actually shows you. Are you ready to do a print? Okay, so let me close this guy. Now, how do we click a button from this guy to open the report that we have built here for a particular employee? That is what we are going to do. Guys, I'm reminding you, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to this channel, so that amazing and the helpful Microsoft Access videos that we do upload here, you will actually be benefited. Okay, so I will close every object here. And now, so this is what I want to do. I'm going to add a button here that when I click, it goes ahead to open this attendance report for the selected employee. There are so many ways to do this, but this is one of the ways of doing this. Yeah. So now let us look at how this will work. So the first approach is to add a button here anywhere. So I will actually add it here. Then this button, I will close everything, and I will say that I'll go to reports. So this is the name of the button, go to report. Let me change the design a little bit. So I'm going to, let's suppose this is a design reward. Now you see that when we click, it does nothing. It doesn't do anything. So as a matter of fact, let me bring it here a little bit. Now, how do we get this guy when click to open the report for us? Okay, so we go to build events, macro, then we are going to say open report, and the report is obtained report. If another option is to click in here, and all the reports you have in your database will pull up to select the one you want. Now, yes, you want to view the reports. So you can open the report to any of this mode, but we want to open the report. Okay, so where condition. Now the where condition is going to be equal to employee ID equal to, then you do quotation, you put apostrophe inside quotation again, then you do end, and then you do import ID again. Then we repeat the same thing. we do ampersand, quotation, apostrophe, quotation again. Now let us wrap the whole of what this employee ID in what quotations also. So here. Okay, so let us close them here, and now we can add one more ampersand here. So we save it. Yeah. So guys, this is the macro. So what we are saying is that anytime that button is clicked, open the report, attendance report, but then open to show only where the IDs are equal, or filter using the where condition equality in ID. So let's go ahead to see. Now I expect this report to actually misbehave, because you see here we have emp ID, but then over here we have what? We have employee ID. So there's going to be a problem. So let me first show you the error that will appear because of the mismatch in those names, and then later I will show you how to fix that. So when you click, you see it tells you that what is emp ID. It is not able to identify. So in order to do that, go to report design again. Now this guy needs to be changed to this guy needs to be changed to employee ID. Then we save it. If it doesn't work, then we come back to change it instead to this guy. Okay, so we hit it here. Now let's make sure that we are doing the right thing. So it is employee ID here. Okay, so now I'll do this, and I'll hit what this data type mismatch in criteria expression. Data type mismatch. And what this means is that instead of doing this, we can actually remove some of these comments and then keep this as simple as that. So instead, let's wrap this in that, then we can see. So let us remove those quotations, and I'll keep it as simple as that. Now we save, we come in here, form, we hit here, and now you can see that it is giving us a report. So let's suppose we enter a new attendance. Workday is this, status is what? Present, timing is 1000 AM to 200 PM. That is what we have here. Once you save, it jumps right in here, and when you go to report, you see that it actually shows you the report or the attendance of only the selected employee, and you can directly print that over here. This looks amazing. So let's select a different employee, Isla. Once we hit go to report, it gives us a report. Let's select a different employee. So you can actually report for any employee. Once you hit that, it will pull up all the attendance information. Now the next report I would also want to help you guys to build is how to generate a lot of a bulk report between dates, or how to issue reports, display reports between maybe this week, or reports of month, a year, reports of data between any number of any time interval. How do you do that? Now here, the only thing that is needed for you to do, or the most important thing that needs to be done, is to create what I call a date filter. So the date filter is very easy to build. I'll go to create, then table design. Now here I will add ID, and ID with auto number, and of course this is going to be the primary key. Then I will do from which date, and the data type must be date or time, and then to date or time. Now I will actually right click here, save, and I will say that was date filter. Okay, now I will go ahead to view this. So I'll enter any date at all. Let's say this day to this day, and I'll refresh. Now the next thing for us to do, or we need to do, is to actually build what we call build a form. So I will display this, create, and I'll go to form wizard. I will select only the from and the to. I'll go to next, columnar is okay. Now this time around I'll call it report filter. Then I'll click finish. Good. So the next thing we'll do is to add a button, and I'll go ahead to add a button with right here. So I'll click here, and now this is the button I'll add. And the button this time around, for the meantime, I wouldn't be adding any event. I will just call it go to reports. Okay. So now the next thing to do is to get a query that will actually filter using what, or a query that will filter to filter data between these two dates. And how do we get that? So this is report filter, nothing happens. Now let's get a query. So we are going to our right click these guys. So I will right click this, and then Control V to paste. I will say that's what bulk data, and this is what I'll do. Now I will right click here. Okay, so now we would need the date. So go ahead to add what, another table. So the table we are going to add is a work date. So this work date, then we can actually double click to get what the date field as well. So this goes along back to what display everything together with what the date. Now using the date in the work day would not work unless you use that of what, the work date. That is why bringing this extra table in the into the relationship is very what, paramount, or is needed. Okay. So now we have a report built using 3 tables in a relationship or a joint. Okay, what is the next thing? The next thing is for us to filter. So I'll right click here, build events. Now the database here, form, call forms. Now report filter. So here something very serious is really happening. You can see that nothing really comes for you to click. This does not really show you what, anything. So how then can we deal with what, with this? Okay, so we can what, start by doing the table, using the table instead. Now right here in the table, I'll go to date filter, then I'll do from. So before then you type in between, then do from and to. Good. Then now you can actually hit what, okay, right. Now this is not really going to solve the problem what for you, because should we go ahead to open this date filter and then open the bulk data, you see it is still asking us Microsoft Access is not able to actually reference this guy, and there's a problem. So how do we resolve this? Now in order to resolve this, we are simply going to what, reference what this report was filter from here. So report was filter, let's go. So go to bulk data again, design view. Now here criteria, workday. So we do between. So instead we are going to say form. So now form here, this time around, what is a form? So we are going to do form dot. So the form we want here is what, report filter. Okay, so what we are saying that we want forms report filter. Then let's copy the same thing here. And then bring it what, across here. We paste it here, forms report filter. This time around what, 2. Okay, so I'll copy everything and then save it what, once again. Okay, so this time around let us run it. Okay, so now the next thing we'll do is to, let's test it out. So we open this guy. Now open this report. You can see that now when you do, it opens to. So what this is what doing is that this time around, whatever date you enter here I've entered between what, 12. So let's suppose I enter only up to what, 3rd. Okay, and now open this. You see that it shows you just what few data. It only shows you attendance data between first and then what third. So let's suppose you want only first, then you will do 12 1 2025. Okay, and now once you hit this, is what it has to actually what, let me refresh here, then let's here. So you see now it goes ahead to show you only the record between or for that specific day. So if you want to show attendance for only one day, then the from date and the 2 days should be the same. Otherwise you simply have to what, make it different, and then once you go ahead to view the bulk data query, it shows you what all the attendance between the day, could be a month, year, or century. I find this to be a very, it is a strategy I've been using so many years now, and it works. Now the next thing that we will need to do is simply to build what, a report here, to build a report on this what data. So what I will do is I'll go to create reports. I'll create a very broad report. I'll add everything, go to next. Now here let us group by department. I go to next. So I want a stepped report, landscape, finish. Okay, so well, let us actually extend some of these things so that they show. So I will extend this guy now here. Okay, so now this is a report we have. So you can simply change this guy to attendance report. Then we can click here, shift fill is fine. Now report. Okay, so this time around, this is what we actually going to do. So instead, we are going to say when this button is clicked, go to report macro, open report, and the report is what? Let's pull it up here. We have bulk data report, and then open to show the report. Normal mode is okay. That is all that we need. So once I hit this, it gives me the report between the data I've actually chosen. So let's suppose I choose between this day and then third or fourth. I refresh here and I go to this, and it's actually pulls up the record showing me only between those 2 dates. Now there are some things that I want us to fix quickly. First, the department is showing numbers or the IDs. This is not ideal, or this is not good. Let us actually edit so that it shows the department name. So I'll delete this guy. Then here, click and drag the department under the department or to the department header. Then remove the label here. Bring this guys here, drag it here, and now we can actually bold these guys. Sorry. So let us preview the report again. You can see that now it shows us the department. So to make it more impressive, you can the shape align or the shape outline, you can set it to transparent, and now you can actually save it. Let me close this, go to this guy. So now you can see that the report is looking very awesome. And this is a very advanced reporting or technique, because you simply input the data, go to report, and then you have everything that you actually need. Okay guys, so I feel like this has been such a long tutorial, and we are going to end over here. If there are any things that you would like me to help you with in this very database, you can actually book a consultation with me and we can look at it. Okay guys, thank you for watching. See you in the next episodes.